Don't get that, but
Well, that's fine.
okay, if you say so, I believe you.
Yeah.
And how come that you're driving left side? Welcome listeners to the podcast Communicate with the World, sponsored by Europe Direct. Don't believe tourists, we ask the locals. Hello Daniel.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. What a pleasure to have you
A
here.
pleasure to have you too.
Hey man, tell our listeners where we are now and where you're from and where you've grown up.
So let me say, basically I was grown up here in Namibia. This is where I was born in here, and which is very fine. It's a nice country. Since I started born in here, I haven't seen any problem at all. So it's a good country. So I like it.
But now you're too positive. No problem at all, that can be, right?
Yes, yeah, that's no problem at all.
Okay. Well, anyway, Daniel, as you said, you're 33 years old. You are from Namibia. We are now sitting here in Okanchima and we have the nature around.
Yes, that's right. So since I applied this job in Okonjima, but which is very nice, and I found that Okonjima is such a beautiful lodge, and also opportunity came up here, and so I found myself that nature is something that I should also know about my country, which means that tourists are the best economy in our Namibia, and which brings us to more jobs and more employees that work here.
Okay, that's actually a question which I want to go in this direction,
Yeah.
which like economical speech. But let's start at first with some details about Namibia. So Namibia is quite big. It's twice the size of Germany,
Yeah.
but there are less people, right?
That's right.
So how big is Namibia from the population?
So the population of Namibia is like 2.4, 2.5 million people that lives here.
So really small.
It's really small, but it's very big. But the people that live here, they are not a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like 2.4, 2.5 million people, the one that lives here.
Yeah, crazy. So it's a lot of nature here. You have a lot of
Exactly.
you have deserts here. You have jungles. Any cool animal which I can imagine,
Yeah,
right?
so the only cool animal that you can imagine is about when you see about the leopard.
Yeah.
I know it's this animal, so they're very difficult to see, but which is bring us like it's more good animal to see. It's because these cats are they are not very popular to be seen, and also they like very much in thick bushes, and that's why I love Okonjima that they call us some of these cats that easily where we can try to monitor them, and also where we can differentiate between these cats, between the cheetah and the leopard. So which is very nice.
Yeah, well, but Daniel, there's much more. So you have lions, you have elephants, you have zebras, you have giraffes, everything here, right?
That's right.
So that's also the reason why many people travel to Namibia. You already said it's the most important thing in your economic tourism, right?
That's right.
So when you go to Namibia, what people can do here? Tell our listeners what people can do in Namibia. What are things, what are the normal things when people think about Namibia to spend, how long normally people spend time here? I would say at least 3 weeks, right?
3 weeks, or maybe you find some people they spend here like half in a month. Also, so you might find some of them that they're spending almost a month, which means they travel more. They come from Windhoek and then they travel more towards to the Caprivi side, and then also you find them they're traveling all the way to the coastal coast. So which means like more.
So the normal way if you go to Namibia is not to stay in a hotel. It's more like to make with the car driving through Namibia, right?
That's right. That's right. So normally you find them that. So this is a good adventure when you do the camping. Let's say about camping. Camping it's a very nice way you experience. So when you hire a car or something, and then there's a tent on top, and then which means like you are asleep is somewhere like more on top of the nature, where you can see everything. So and also it's all about self-catering, whereby you can make your own fire. So it's an experience where you supposed to gain about these things.
Yeah, that's also the reason why we're sitting in front of such a car.
That's right.
Because these Hilux, the Toyota Hilux, are the normal cars which nearly every tourist gets in Namibia to drive through Namibia, right?
That's right.
And here on the top, we even can see the construction for a tent when you just need to put it up in the night and you can sleep directly there.
You can sleep very peaceful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I experienced already the last 2.5 weeks, and it was amazing to get from the middle. We have to say Windhoek is in the middle of Namibia, right?
That's right.
And then you can go a circle to the south at first, north, and so on, right?
Yeah.
And there's one really famous part where everyone goes, which is the Tosha Park.
Etosha Park. Good.
What's so special there?
So Etosha Park, it's all about, it's a place of miracles. That's one of our native language that we call in Oshiherero, if I'm not mistaken. That place is very nice. It's all about, that's a public sector. So we talk about whereby you're going to drive yourself in a park. So you're driving from waterhole to the next waterhole to see animals that comes and drink the water. You might so you see the lions there, and also elephant. Let me say like that because that's a big hectare. Talking about some big hectares, elephant, and also you might see some zebra. So count yourself lucky in that area. So it's a place of miracle. So when you drive in the park, you see a lot of animals. So count yourself lucky if it happens that you have seen elephant or cheetahs and also leopard in that Etosha National Park. That's our best Etosha big hectare in Namibia.
Yeah, and it's a national park, so it's saved from the government, and you have to pay if you want to enter, but it's so huge, right?
Yeah.
You need at least 2-3 days to get around it.
Exactly. It's owned by the government. That's owned by the government. So it's allowed also, and also as me as a Namibian, also I'm allowed also to go there, yeah, to see also what type of animal we have in Namibia, and also it's a good thing also for me also to know, since I'm also staying in this country, also I must know the animals that we have here in Namibia. So that's why it's named Etosha National Park.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Very nice. And Namibia has much more to offer. Obviously, there is the big safaris and all the amazing animals, I have to say.
Yes.
But you have also the coast here, right?
Yeah, the coast. Also, we have the coast. Yeah, so the coast is almost mostly people, most of my tourists, when they go to the coast, they stay at the lodge, which is very nice. And also, you see some dunes. So it's very nice today, as well as at the coastal coast. Yeah. So most of the people they travel and they don't miss that place unless they have to see that place before they go to winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or either they have to travel anti-clockwise. They start with a coastal coast, and then from there they proceed to the next lodges, and then they come here and they stand here to consume the last ending of their holiday, and then from there fly back to Windhoek. So which is very nice.
Yeah.
So which is very nice.
So it's really easy to find your own route, right?
Exactly, it's very easy to find that.
Yeah, you can research and find your own route to go from camp to camp with your car.
From camp to camp, and also Susufle. Also, that's the place that I had as well. It's very nice also there. So yeah, it's more about camping when you do about more camping, and then when you travel all day you do about the camping, and then you come to it the coastal coast, and then you stay at the lodge, and that will be like also the end of the holiday, which is very nice. You sleep in a luxury room, so then from there you fly back to Windhoek, and then.
Yeah, exactly. So also what I experience here is that people are going by car from camp to camp, and there you have the option to sleep in the tent, as we did, in the roof tent or in a lodge. So we also booked 2 nights in the lodge to get some normal bed, some showers and so on.
So this is really nice. I know you got such an experience to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and as you mentioned already, Sossusvlei is really cool, or Walfish Bay, where you can swim with or kayaking with the seals. So everything is really cool. But we spoke about economical, and you said it's mostly tourism. Well, what else is in Namibia really strong for the economical? Do you have outside of economical a lot of chances to get some jobs, or is it quite bad economical situation at the moment? How is the situation in Namibia?
So yeah, in Namibia at this moment the situation it's really quite let me say it's not really quite nice. So to compare about those years when COVID was not here, but now things are moving like a little bit slow. So we found that economics, since our economics are which is big tourist, It's our best economic. And then, so we have learned something that this is really so when COVID came and it hit us, and then our economic just went down straight, and our business also shut down, and which is like so it's very hard. We didn't cope very in a nice way, but since now economic also is rising slowly but surely, we'll see we will get there. But anyway, it seems like it's going there. But our best economy is the tourists. This is our best economy because mostly people also they do their own business when it come to this one. So if for instance like I have a car and then also I go for another company for instance like that, and then I got a share from that company, and which means that I took my guests to the lodges, especially like when they arrive in Windhoek. So I'm talking about the shuttle company.
Taxi,
Yeah,
shuttle company, okay.
shuttle company. Also, they are taking part in that. So, which means that at least it make our economy to grow.
So everything is connected with
everything is connected
tourism,
to that.
and also the people on the street which
Yeah,
sell
exactly.
their handmade wood and things like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
which is high quality and really nice. We also bought some things,
Yeah,
so really
that's right.
nice. Yeah. Okay, wow. And well, when we are stick with tourism, there is one thing. If you travel with the car, people might not know they're not everywhere asphalty, right?
Yeah.
You have gravel streets. What are gravel streets?
Gravel streets are those people, perhaps maybe in my own way I understand it's gravel streets is like maybe we have those people who are, we call them about the street vendors, are the one that they used to sell or something. Or maybe let me say people who are normally, for example, like people are normally depending on themselves, depending on something that, for example, they sell something in the street or something on the trial road. Maybe you got the firewood there, and then the guests have to come and buy and all that when they do about this camping, which is it's a very good experience as well.
Yeah, but I mentioned actually the gravel streets are the streets with sand
With the
and
sand, yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, also yeah, we might find that special like in Etosha. Let me say like in Etosha, also there's also some gravel street as you said, but which is like it's also not good. Sometimes the roads, so since the heavy rains and some of the roads are not very perfect well, and also yeah, so
yeah, but I would say nobody has to be very nervous about it because it's really easy to drive.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
So people make you more afraid than you have to be because the streets are quite hard and it's easy to drive there.
It's easy to drive,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, very good. Thanks for all the explanation and about that. But let's continue and go on about Namibia.
Yeah.
We spoke already about economic situation and that you are depending to tourism, and it was getting down while COVID and everything was more expensive. Many people get unemployed, and but it's still a very safe country, right? If you compare it with your neighbor countries,
Yeah.
Namibia is very safe. Or what would you say about Namibia?
Yeah, so yeah, let me say like that. Yeah, Namibia it's a safe country, but you know, every country have such kind of things like that. Yeah. So, but so mostly people, one thing that have learned from my guests, they say that Namibia is a safe country. Let me say 90% of them they are saying that Namibia is a good country, which is it's a good country also. Let me say like that. Yeah, it's a good country as well. Yeah, I know each and every country there's corruption, but yeah.
Yeah, we also heard about that,
Yeah.
and
So we keep it in that, so which is very good also as well. So since if you see that mostly people are saying that it's a good country, and which means that other people they are saying that it's a good country. Let me say other people from different country, when they come here, that's why they say that Namibia is a good country, and which is very nice when you hear someone from outside who's saying that who's talking about your country that's it's a good one. So I think it's a good one. It's a safe country.
yeah.
Yeah, let me say like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I also met a lot of people on the street, and we spoke with them, and I always felt safe.
Exactly.
Obviously, yeah. I know. I told many people told me about the corruption in many fields.
fields,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But we don't need to get more into that.
Yeah.
But just to mention it
Just
once.
mention few. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's speak about the price level.
Yeah.
So you have Namibian dollars here,
Yeah.
right? And what's the range between euros and Namibian dollars? Is the lifestyle here cheaper than in Europe? So I found out here since I'm here,
Yeah.
it's 1 to 17, right?
Yeah.
€1 is 17 Namibian
Yeah, that's right.
dollars. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say life is cheaper for Europeans here than?
Yeah. So such a good show. Let me say like that. Could be like that. It could be like life in Europe is cheaper than in here. So we found that so since our US dollar also when you change it, like $1 it's almost like 17 or something like that, which is very cheap. But also for us, the maybe people we live here, since life is it's quite like very tough to live in. Yeah, so it's not it's let me say it's not it's very difficult to find such let me say such something to put on a table. So since you must have like a qualification and all that, and also we found that our fuel also is just increasing. So which means that it's very difficult such thing to live in.
I also thought about that because you told me that the average for a job is 2,000 Namibian dollars,
Yeah, that's right.
and my weekly shopping for our tour, just with foods and fruits, was already 1,500 Namibian dollars in 1 week. So I was wondering how people are making to live with 2,000
Exactly.
Namibian dollars. So you really have to watch what you're buying and things
Exactly.
like
You
that.
have to know what you are buying and all that.
Which makes life much more difficult.
Much more difficult, but anyway, so maybe things might get better, but we'll see about that. But since also we found that the fuels just keep rising, and which means that we might, yeah, just hope for the best. Yeah.
Yeah, and the next point is fuel is very expensive, but you need a car because Namibia is big, as we thought, and there's no other option. You have no public transportation. There are trains here, but they're just for
transporting goods and all
goods.
that, yeah.
Exactly.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. So you need a car, otherwise you can't go from A to P.
I need maybe to just for hitchhiking.
Yeah.
Hitchhiking. So maybe someone have to, I have to stay on the road and then do the hitchhiking, and then if he feel about okay, let's go, and then that's the only time I can get him.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only time that I get him. Or if he asks me about something, and that means that I need to pay him as well, or maybe just to make something for him to put the fuel.
So you also pay for hitchhiking sometimes.
Yeah, hitchhiking time. If he asks, okay, let's go, and then okay, all of a sudden, and then if say okay, I need to put fuel because now my fuel is going down, so I have to give him something. At least so that he must add where he's supposed to put the fuel, and then put the fuel, and then from there, so that I can reach where I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah, so
then you have two options to go from A to P. That's one, you have a car, or you do hitchhike.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, crazy.
Yeah.
And there's such a lot of distances. Like I experience it here.
Yeah.
I was just driving to the central part of Namibia, and there everything is so far, and obviously with gravel streets you can't drive so fast, so you need your time, which is also positive because then you see the monkeys and everything on the side, the springboks and so on.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, but Daniel, you speak perfect English, but that's also a thing because you have a lot of national languages here, right?
That's right. Oh, we have a lot of tribes here. Yeah, we have a lot of tribes. So for instance, if I'm not mistaken, we have like or maybe more, or let me say 10 or maybe more.
Okay.
Some of the language I also don't know. It's because of the tribe that we have. Yeah, we have the Herero, we have Damara, we have Himba, and also we have the clicking words. So yeah, so it's a lot of tribes that we have.
Yeah, especially the clicking language is very popular for tourists, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people speaking that still, but.
Unless, we only found some of them at the working place where we were working, and then he talk about that language and say, what are you saying? So you have to ask him, and then he tell you what he meant, and then all that. So so this is how we are learning.
But the main languages with you have conversations here is English and Afrikaans.
English and Afrikaans, those are the only two that we have.
Yeah, which everyone knows.
Everyone knows, and everyone what's speaking. Also, this is the one that we speak as well. It's school session well, English and Afrikaans. But if you find Damara also, but unless if I don't understand Damara, which is the clicking words, so which means that I have to change to speak in English. That's the only time we can understand
each other inside of the country.
Inside of the country.
Yeah,
the inside of
it was such a nice experience to saw that here.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not common for me to see that. Yeah.
Then you find that you find also the Aprivian. the Caprivian people also, those are coming from more to the north.
Uh-huh.
So you found that they speak Caprivi, but the only way we understand each other is unless I have to speak English. So if you speak Caprivi language, I will not understand. So which means that he have to change also. So when he come here, when he change, when he speak English, that's the only time. If I speak also, if I speak Afrikaans, he might not understand me as well.
Yeah.
Because they also they are learning.
Even Afrikaans. I thought Afrikaans everyone speaks here.
I know it's only that you find some of the provincials. You find where you find in Windhoek. So normally for Windhoek or Kahanja, and then you find Oshwarongo, Otavi, and then Grootfontein. That's where English and Afrikaans. But if you go further to the north, that's Rundu, and then Caprivi that side, you find their own language also as well there. The first language is English. Let me say about Caprivi. The first language is English, and then you fold they fold their second language, which is Lozi or something like that. So that's
Okay.
that's, more to the Caprivi
So just
side.
English speaks everyone.
Yeah, English speak everyone. Also,
Okay.
you find when you come to the Rundu side, you find that English is also the first language and followed by their language, which is Rukavango.
Okay. And we have to say that Rundu is the second biggest city of Namibia.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's the second one. So you find that they are speaking English, and then the second one is Rukwangari. So you see, there's already different. If I took Rukwangari in here, especially like in here in Windhoek, or for example like in Oshwarongo, they will not understand me.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that brings me to the next topic,
Yeah.
because all the languages obviously is out of history,
Yeah, that's
and you have crazy history. You had to
right.
fight long to be neutral, right?
Yeah.
So what was here already? Which colonies did you have already? It's so many, right?
So now we have the first one. So the first one in history, we found that Germany, mostly are the Germans. The Germans are the one that used to come to colony about Namibia. But since from that, I've never had any other tribe that used to come colony Namibia. Yeah, according to the history, that's the only thing that we know, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was Germany here, which are still here, right?
It's a silly here.
Yeah.
Some of them. Yeah, some of them. So, yeah, let me say like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how come that you're driving left side?
Left side.
Yeah.
Yeah, left side. So I cannot bring that one. So maybe that's the law that they put, that Namibia it's driving on the left side. So yeah, let me say like that. So because normally I also find it very difficult when someone is telling me that in our country we drive like on the right hand side, but we drive on the left hand side.
Well, I'm here now since like already 2.5 weeks, and I experienced that you eat a lot of meat, right? What's your national meals here? What's your common meal? What many locals eat?
So normally like not game meat. I'm talking about livestock. That's livestock, and also followed by the game meat, and also chicken. Normally, those are the meat that we found here also, that we also eat.
So I bet there are not a lot of vegetarians here.
Not a lot of vegetarians. So because if you eat vegetarian, then I would just look at you and say, "What are you eating?" That's it.
Okay.
So I find it very difficult. I find it very difficult because I never had any vegetable. I never eat any vegetable. So the only thing that I eat is only our staple food of Africa, which is porridge. That's what we grow on.
Okay. Yeah.
Porridge, and also the sauce and the meat, and that's it. The meat of a livestock or a game or something. Maybe you buy in the shop, you buy a game meat and all that. Yeah.
A game meat.
A game meat.
What is a game meat?
A game meat is the meat like, let me start talking about kudu or oryx. Yeah, those
Zebras.
Zebras. But I don't eat zebra. But anyway, yeah, some people they eat that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, some people they eat that. But yeah.
Yeah, I often heard about kudu, springbok, right?
Yeah, those type of meat. Yeah, you find it sometime in the shop.
You call that game fight.
It's a game. Yeah, it's a game.
How come? Why game fight?
Game fight. I know it's because of it depends. Some of businesses, as I said, that businesses. Also, you find that hunting is also part of the economy. Or let me say like that. Yeah.
But
So
that's true. But I found out that especially the rare animals, they're not allowed to hunting anymore, right?
yeah,
So-
animals are not allowed to be hunted anymore unless. So it depends, because each and every one, since it's a private, you find that all those short faces that you see is a private. It's a private owned. So if my farm if my farm is a hunting farm, so which means it's only that area which is a hunting farm, not on the other side of on the side of the fence. So which means that it's only that part which is it's a hunting for me. So
Okay.
we find that some of them they are also I have a farm and then I try to sell to other farmers, or so yeah, and then so they must also get an income and all that, yeah.
Okay, but here, for example, where we are now, that's the Africa cat. Here you help to grow the African cats again, like cheetahs, like leopards, and so on, right? Also lions, I don't know.
Yeah, we have lions, but these lions are in the captivity as well. Yeah, you might hear them in the night when
Okay.
when they're grooming. But these ones we use them for environmental educations to educate the youth. So this is about to create an awareness and promote tolerance of large carnivores amongst in the farming communities.
Interesting.
So yeah, we use them for education. Yeah, there are two of them that we have in the captivity. Yeah.
Nice. So, again, I just can confirm what you said, that everyone should come to Namibia and try the safari once and take time with you, because Namibia is so big, as we already said.
That's right.
Exactly. And yeah, well, is there anything what you want to add to our conversation? Something really important which you want to let our listeners to know?
Yeah. So our listeners know that. So I just want to give a shout out about this. So you guys, I think that's a good. Namibia, it's a good country. So as I found that mostly people, that's what they are saying. Mostly tourists, that's what they are saying. And which is what I think it's a good experience also to see our country and how good it is, and which animal to differentiate between the two, between the cheetahs and the leopard, and also so you must travel from different regions to another. So which find that it's a good also, so which is also give us an opportunity, or let me say jobs, which since economic tourists it creates jobs to people, and which is very nice. So I guess that you should just come to Namibia and see how the good part of it.
What a nice and amazing. But in the end, I always ask my guests about some words in their local language.
Yeah.
So give our listeners a shout out, like say, thanks for listening and it was a pleasure to be here, or something what you want to say. So,
Okay, so should I say it in my language? Or?
Yeah, say it in your language, and afterwards you can ask me, you can tell me what means thanks and goodbye, and I try to repeat it.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so just to give that mpandu mukuinja mu Namibia, tumisansela mwakama tuyongola lingale muinjelo wa mu Namibia. Good. And also just to give thanks for all that. Thank you very much for you guys. So I think you must come part of it, so that you must see how Namibia is looking, and which is very nice. And especially like Okonjima, you can just come to Okonjima. Okomis is a place, and Njima is a baboon. So it's one of our native language that we call is a place of baboon. That's in Oshiherero. Yes.
So give me a try. I want to say thank you and goodbye. How can I say that? Thank you and goodbye.
So that's
in your language.
Okay. Mpandu, bye bye.
Bandu, bye bye?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too easy.
That's really easy. Yeah.
What means how are you?
How are you, Miss? Watumna hindukila.
Watuma hayukula.
Yeah, watumna hindukila.
Watuma hayukula.
Exactly.
Thanks, man. It was a pleasure for the interview. Don't believe tourists. We ask the locals.